are now tuned into Pacific Push.
All right, welcome to Pacific Push with Ogee Money, man. Today we have another special guest for us. We have the CEO and founder of the Culturvated Agency, VOK. What's good?
What's going on, G? How you feeling today, God buddy? Shout out to the culture, Pacific Push. How you feeling?
That's my man. We feeling good, brother, man. How about yourself?
I can't complain. Just here doing the work, God.
Nah, that's for real, man. So how's 2021 treating you so far?
It's all right. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. Can't complain. Niggas stomped the Capitol, excuse me. I don't want to sound ignorant. They stomped the Capitol. Shit. At the end of 2020 went out with a bang. They took MF Doom. Shit was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
That's for real.
So far, it's all right.
Let's get into that. Yeah, let's get into that. But first, let's start from the gate. You know what I mean? For the listeners that we have here on Taste Radio, let's talk about who you are and where you from.
Sure, my name is Lakaron John from Brooklyn, half Flatbush, half Bed-Stuy. Well, I'm gonna say I'm 25% Flatbush, 25% Brownsville, 25 and 50% Bed-Stuy.
All right, we like that. We like that round off. Chauncey Avenue shit, huh?
Yeah, from West Chauncey, you know what I mean? Chauncey and Howard, you know what I mean? Grew up there, also grew up on Franklin and Madison, also grew up on Bainbridge and Howard, also grew up on Woodruff and Ocean, you know what I mean? Crook Avenue.
All right. I feel with you.
You know what I mean?
I feel you.
You know what I mean? From the neighborhood, I started out back in the days of the producing and shit. So I used to do beats in my hood for these niggas. It was like these niggas called the Foundation and shit. So I was like doing beats for them and my man Fat Tawai and these niggas. But it wasn't really like, they was like neighborhood, like literally neighborhood niggas. Like they was lit in only our 5-6 blocks. Like it wasn't like nowhere else. But just our.
That's what count. That's what count. That's what start.
So I was doing mad beats for niggas, and then I started fucking with my son Cardi from the Star. When I really started fucking with Cardi is when my shit started like going out. Like niggas was fucking with him so much, so then niggas was fucking with his music, and I was like doing all his beats and shit. So I started fucking with him. I started doing shit with Paul Kane. Started doing shit with mad different niggas in my hood. Did shit for Mano. Did shit for Troy Ave. Did shit for Push. Did shit for mad niggas. Like I just doing mad shit. I had this artist back in the day, my son R Fox. He was like fake lit in the DVD era. All his records for all his Michaels.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Oh, but like true story, like back then we was doing videos with this nigga named Sal Green and Picture Perfect.
Yeah, I remember Sal Picture and all that. Yeah.
And Zaire.
You even had Kavlaw on the scene at that
time.
Bunch of niggas. I'm from Gates Avenue, man.
Yeah, they was like the four most lit cameramen in the town. They would shoot all the videos for niggas and shit. And then Jordan Tower came in and took the videos to another level. Cause Smack came in the blueprint, but Jordan Tower, he just centralized it. So when Jordan Tower came in and niggas was doing real elaborate videos for songs, it was like, oh shit. So now you got niggas like Mano and Zaire started doing shit and mad different shit. So I come from that era. So like I was doing records back then with them niggas with Jock and Deuce One and shit with Cardi and them. And then Cardi ain't never really take off, even with the Fight Club love and all that shit. Like he ain't never really take off and shit. And then started working with, like I said, I started working with Push for a little while, but then I ended up going to jail. When I came home and shit, I started fucking with Push again more on the music tip. And then Troy Ave was kind of lit around the time, and it was like this whole new New York resurgence. It was like Push Montana, Troy Ave, Wink Loke, Curtains was still like going crazy. True story, Curtains kind of introduced niggas to Kendrick. That was like the first time I ever heard Kendrick was like on a Curtains mixtape and shit. Him and Schoolboy Q, niggas like that. So niggas like Curtains and shit, they don't get talked about a lot, but he was really important in like the reshaping of what the New York scene became, you feel me? And then in the midst of all of that, fast forward a few years, and we started working with, that's when Tax started taking over the podcaster.
Yeah. So we're gonna get into that in pieces, man. So you gave us a good rundown from your history. You know what I mean? Producer, you went down memory lane.
Yeah.
Even brought up Jordan Towers. You feel me? He went crazy with French for a minute with Cocaine
Yeah,
City.
yeah, he
So
worked that whole.
that's
That
a
was the
fucking
era.
fact.
Like niggas don't
Yeah,
understand. Like these niggas turned into bozos later on in their career, but they really shaped our childhood. My nigga,
they did.
like
They
Jordan
did, man.
Tower. Even I even give this weird nigga what's son name? Rec 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 TV, Mr. Rec TV, and all of them niggas. Doggy Diamonds, them niggas.
Yeah, Doggy Diamonds.
They was giving us videos like different angle shit. Like, remember how they
Yeah,
started making those pages where they was posting all the like the 80s video
of
pictures and
course.
stories and shit. So
Yeah, of course. I could do this with you all night long.
M-Rec,
100%.
that's the nigga,
You know what I'm
M-Rec.
saying?
Remember M-Rec and them?
Yeah. Yes,
M-Rec,
I do.
Bud Tower was doing corny shit. They was actually putting out
Yeah.
content. Remember
Yeah,
M-Rec first Beanie Siegel interview when he came home from jail.
and niggas was putting a lot of pressure on these cameramen early on too. You feel
Back.
me? That's when shit got really nasty. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. So I appreciate that. You know what I mean? So you gave us how you got up into this industry, and let's talk about this, right? So the Culturvated Agency, and you're the CEO and founder, and y'all partnered up with Atlantic Records, right? So how fruitful has that venture been thus far? And congratulations on that.
Oh, good looking. Appreciate that, King. I mean, it's been all right so far. It's still new. Like we're not even in year one. We still in the middle of year one of that situation. Like it's still very, very new. I have some good starts on it so far. Like I signed 3 acts last year. I signed Busy Banks, Coast to Ghost, and Shawnee Bin Laden. And I still work the careers of 22 G's and Maceo Guns and Max the Demon. So the joint venture is good because it gives me an avenue to be able to use Atlantic resources to brand my company. But for the most part, like I still run the ship myself. You know, I got a lot of help from Jamila and Teddy and all of my staff and my people who really come in. Like we do most of our groundwork, and then you got the label staff like Yaz, my PM. Like Yaz is my product manager for all my artists, and she's just like. She's like their mother. I'm like their pops. I'm over there telling them what to do on the streets, and she in the label telling them what not to do. Like you feel what I'm saying? So it's like it's a team effort with them, but it's not like more so Atlantic. It's the people from Atlantic. Like it's certain people that work in it, and it works for us. I ain't gonna lie. It was a great situation.
Of course, it brings more visibility to your brand, to your company, and ultimately their resource. You know what I mean? It's a contract, it's a partnership. Shit could change. Nigga might have Sprint this week and T-Mobile next year. They got a better plan for me, so I totally understand that. And at least you're moving cohesively. And I like Max the Demon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Max the Demon is ill. I was listening to some shit. I listened to that Demon season 3 with him and Siggy Black. They talking crazy. I see that. I said, boy, this white boy's sick.
Yeah, he get busy.
He do. You know what I mean? He do. So you have a lot of great acts, Busy Banks, everybody. And you know, a lot of this happened during the COVID pandemic. So, you know, we try not to talk too much about this in the past. Well, 2020 is in the past, but this is still relevant. So how are you managing through this, or how have you pivot as a businessman and the CEO with moving with these artists and trying to still brand them? Because, you know, no matter what, whether they got signed, they have visibility, they still got to produce. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts. Like we went through a lot of red tape in the beginning of quarantine because like, I dropped one of the first projects in the quarantine. Like we dropped the Blicky tape. We dropped Growth and Development from 22 G's on August 10th, 2020. So that was like the beginning of the pandemic. People was in the house for like a month already. Nobody didn't know how we was gonna market it, how we was gonna do promotion. Like we kind of gave everyone a blueprint. We really just sat in the house. Shout out to Yaz and Ivy, and they just set up mad IG and Zoom interviews and meetings, and we was just again interviewed by different Instagram pages all day. It was like we did a digital rollout without knowing what the hell we was doing. Like, you know what I mean? Kinda. And it worked in 22's favor. So then whatever I learned from that situation, I just applied it to Busy and I applied it to everyone else. So with Busy was like, He was new to the label, so they didn't give us a lot of resources, but I knew that I had gained a lot of relationships, so I just used a lot of my shit. I used WorldStar, I used, different platforms to build his shit in the town until they took it like a little bit more serious. Like, all right, the numbers are still consistent. His shit going up. Boom, boom, boom. Let's pay attention and let's put a little bit more gas into him. So during quarantine, we actually did better than we probably did the year before. I mean, we didn't go on tour, but we streamed hella. I mean, Tutu streams went up 600%. Busy streams went up 300% in the quarantine. Shit, even Shawnee Been Latin streams went up 500%. Coast to Go streams went up crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we had a lot of growth within the company over the quarantine. Coast, we signed Coast, dropped him, his first records and everything in the quarantine. Shit. Hit list dropped in March, something, April 5th or some shit like that, like the beginning of quarantine.
Yeah, listen, the pandemic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The pandemic. So you got to get into it. Now, so what's interesting about your agency and the roster, especially with the drill scene in Brooklyn, man. Like it's massive drama that comes with this shit. Niggas seem like they beefing every other week, and you can't get away from that. You know what I mean? But it's just it puts New York in that situation where you want to see that unity, but if you're not from here and you just don't understand how hard it is for them to work with certain artists, so what do you run or come across when you're dealing with some of your younger artists and they still, not saying that they in the streets, but they still actively out here and shit is fucking crazy. It's like you got a baby death row on your hands.
I mean, for the most part, I tell them every day, like, if you don't focus on the positive shit, you're going to focus on the negative. So if you got to just keep them busy and keep their minds and their thoughts positive. Like, I speak to all of my kids every single day. And I call them kids because everybody treat them niggas like adults their whole life. They been treated like adults since 13. You speak to any of them, they've been locked up for their first time 14, 15, putting handcuffs. Once you put in handcuffs, you treat like an adult for the rest of your time. You come home, niggas in the street treat you like an adult. The cops see you again, you try to arrest you, they treat you like an adult. Like, you know better than because you got arrested already. You feel what I'm saying? So they don't get treated like, they get treated with no care for years. You feel me? And then even after they become successful with the music, niggas still don't care. Niggas just want to get rich off them. Like, you feel me? You got to keep them niggas balanced. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I even tell them, like, tell your moms, like, when you come in the crib, make sure your moms call you by your real name. Like your friends call you by your real name so you can keep a piece of yourself. Like, that person that you was in the streets running around being, that's an image. That's a persona. That ain't you. You is who you are when you go home. Like saying that when you in the crib, when you laying in your bed and you and mom that's who you are. You know what I'm saying? Who you have to be is who you are outside, and you don't have to be that person all the time. And that's how I get to understand, like, yo, listen, you don't have to be that person all the time. Right now, you're doing this. You feel what I'm saying? You're doing this, you're trying to get your shit together, fuck all that street shit. That street shit don't be holding no bearing. Because, don't get it twisted, sometimes it overlaps with the music shit because of circumstances. You know what I'm saying? These kids
in the entertainment factor. You know what I'm saying? The entertainment factor of this.
If these kids is all in the city, they all doing the same things, they're gonna cross paths, so that's just how it's naturally gonna be. But for the most part, I try to keep my kids away from the bullshit. I move them out, I show them different things, I take them different places just so they know that they don't have to be in the hood. Like you gotta lead by example too. You can't be around bullshit and then you telling them, nah, don't be in the hood. That don't even make sense.
No, it doesn't, man. And they spend too much time, especially in an environment now where clout is more relevant and clout is like money to them. You know what I'm saying? These niggas care more about clout and being seen than they actually care about fucking accumulating wealth or just following a passion or becoming a better artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, tell me, man. I pay attention.
Yeah, so it's just, it goes into that, so it's refreshing. And at the end of the day, it's going to help out with the youth and whatever artist, regardless if it's a Max the Demon or a Busy Banks, that's somebody that look like them, that has those experiences, that it's not just talk. You know what I mean? So that's what it's about. So now let's talk about some of the big projects you either worked on or you working on.
I mean, 2021, we about to go crazy on niggas. Last year, I think we released about 3 projects. We released 3 projects last year, probably over 20 singles. This year, we turning that up about 4 times. I'm dropping 4 projects in the next 2 months. 5. Dropping 5 projects in the next 2 months, about 7 singles, about 20 videos in the next 2 to 3 months. Been working already got videos, been shooting videos every week so far, like still building on content, building on different things, getting more into it with the TikTok promoters and campaigns and trying to figure out how to, figure it out, how to insert our singles into their systems and, building different relations with the streaming services and trying to, just get your kids and you gotta get your kids in a different space than they would normally get on their own. Like, you feel me? So I'm just working on that for 2021, like branding. All this shit is all about branding, putting them in places where they wouldn't be before, putting them next to names they wouldn't be next to before. I always talk about The Weeknd. The Weeknd became huge because for the whole year he was promoted next to Beyonce. He had to do Coachella. They put him right before Beyonce. He was doing Made in America. He was right before Beyonce, so they kept putting his name next to Beyonce. So now we realize it's like, oh, he's as big as Beyonce. Then who the next time they did it again? Go see they did it again with Post Malone. Post Malone put the next Beyonce for Coachella. Put him next Beyonce. Yeah. Fucking, they just keep putting name association. You look as big as
it's branding. It's 100%. And with Post Malone, they were doing that, putting him with Justin Bieber. Like it's strategic. You know what I mean? It's not just what happens.
Post Malone was hanging with Justin Bieber every day, nigga. I seen them niggas slapboxing in the street playing games and shit like that. Like, I watched them, and that's just hang around. Like, but it didn't work in his favor for Little Twist. He did the same exact things as Post Malone, but they ain't working in his favor. You feel me? So I'm learning how certain associations don't work for everything and don't work for everybody. If you look at my roster, like, you had Tutu, he's with Kodak over with Sniper Gang. You got Ochi was over with 1017 early on. You got Busy, he used to be with Pop Smoke. You got fucking Shawnee over there hanging with, working on Dying and Uzi and them. Like, I always put my kids with people that make sense and never people that doesn't, like, we just forcing the issue. That's not what it's about. It always gotta make sense. You feel me?
No, for real. If it's strategic and it could work out, then it benefits both parties. It benefits all parties. You know what I mean? It's the network. So if you ain't working, you ain't networking, you ain't working, right?
Make my artists look cool and make those artists look smart.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's 100% fact, man. So with all that, man, what is your vision? Ultimately, what you trying to see the brand going with your agency? What would, make everything come to fruition if you see one ultimate goal?
This year I'm just trying to sell like 2-3 million records. Have all my kids going. Hopefully this shit open up. We can get back to touring, get this money back in order. And in 5 years, if I feel like it, we had 100, 200 million, I sell that motherfucker and start all over. New name.
That's again.
Culturvated.
Repeat. Nigga said Rockefellers no more. We Rock Nation. We were just talking about that. That shit gotta go. You feel me? We're gonna change the bottle up and still put this shit right back in there for you.
Come on.
Nah, man. Well, I'll tell you what, man. So we wish you all the success in the world. We work with a lot of your team members behind the scenes, and we got a lot of mutual acquaintances. So especially here on our show, we rock out the music. We go heavy. Shout out to Tiff. She was big in it. She loved to drill shit forever. She drilled that shit in my fucking head. So I'm like, when it's time and the artists are dropping, we're gonna definitely highlight a lot of the music and spin it out here on our show, my brother. So again, let them know the social media, the YouTube, your personal, your brand, how they can get in contact and who to look out for.
You got Rockaron John, VOKARONDON on everything, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Voc Valley. Don't hit me on Facebook if I don't know you. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? I don't know you. Shit. Check out 22Gs. Got the Blicky Tape 2 coming soon. Coast to Ghost Stories coming soon. Busy Bank, GMTO Volume 2 coming soon. Max the Demon Season. It's supposed to be 3.5, but I think it's the 4 coming soon. Shawnee Ben Latin, we just put out Merry Witness. Go stream that. Deluxe coming in 2 weeks. Pandemic by Busy Banks drops tomorrow at midnight. Make sure y'all stream that on all platforms. And keep streaming all of the records out. Shine by Coast to Ghost, Falling Blickies by 22 G's. Both streaming well. Make sure y'all keep streaming. Just keep doing everything y'all doing, and support the Culturvated Agency at Instagram. Shout out to Jamela, shout out to Tiff, shout out to UG, shout out to the whole Pacific.
Yes,
shout out to Hawaii. Yo, Hawaii, what up? Be out there soon. Free Ogeezy. You feel me?
Nah, for real, man.
Free
Word.
Black,
I'm about to
you already
fuck.
know.
Yeah,
Now, my son OG, the most lit nigga in Hawaii, so Shoreline Mafia nigga.
Yeah, them niggas bugged out, man. But we here with you. Now we appreciate it. Go fuck with that Max the Demon, the Godfather. Max is sick, boy. That motherfucker's sick with it.
Out now.
Yeah, he's sick with it. So yeah, man, you know what it is, man. It's your man G Money here with VOK. We're gonna get back into this music, man. Pacific Push.